Welcome back to another episode of Door Kickers 2 Task Force North, where I've been using real-world close-quarters battle tactics and doctrine to play this game. Door Kickers 2 Task Force North is a really cool platform to describe it. This is episode 9, I think, in the series. If you're not caught up yet, I'd invite you to take a look at the playlist now, beginning with episode 1, so that you're on the same page as the rest of us. As we look at this mission here, today's mission is to extract this hostage. As we know, whenever we're doing a hostage rescue operation, it affects our rules of engagement. We're careful about the type of munitions that we employ. We don't want to use a lot of high explosives indiscriminately because we don't want to accidentally cause collateral damage that could place that hostage at risk. We also need to move rapidly because from the moment that we are compromised to the moment that that hostage is extracted safely, is a risk to that hostage, and we want to make sure that he's safe for as long as possible. So a clock theoretically starts from the moment that we are compromised, and it is imperative from that moment forward to get to him and get him out. That means we're going to be placing potentially significant risk on our assault force, and we're willing to do things that are a little bit more dangerous than we typically would so that we can rapidly get to our hostage and get him out safely. As we look at the compound that we are assaulting today, there's nothing overtly nefarious or bad or that raises an eyebrow with respect to the compound. The only thing that kind of stands out is the fact that there is indeed a hostage. But typically we're seeing like weapons and stuff laying around. I don't see any of that inside. We do see a truck here. There's some tubes in the back that could, be reminiscent of mortars or of rockets, but really it just looks like construction material and nothing potentially weird. We've got a covered truck bed and they're using a tin to cover it, but still that's not like up armored. It could be concealing something, but nothing that we can be certain is a risk. What is kind of weird is the way that this compound itself is laid out. We've got a big gate up front. This whole area is kind of cordoned off. We've got a well here, but most importantly, it's got some pieces of cover that the enemy could use or that we could use. So there's one here, and one here. Now let's talk about my plan for breaking down this objective and getting to our hostage. First, I have to confess this is not a blind look. I actually played this all the way through once already, but I had some audio issues with the recording, and so I get to do it again, which is fine. But we're taking a mixed bag of assaulters. It's grenadiers and assaulters and two support class folks. We had some marksmen recommended by the game, but I traded them in just because the ranges that we're engaging at are 50 meters tops, nothing that requires a long gun and glass. We can all accomplish all of it with reflex optics or LCANs or equivalent. So the mission today obviously is to get to this hostage. We're going to do that by creating a giant L, establishing a support by fire position, and then firing and maneuvering to the target. When I say that we're going to create a giant L, that means my goal is to array our forces along these flanks. And if I create this L, these guys up here are going to have a massive open sector of fire here. And if you're on this flank, you're going to have a massive open sector of fire here. That means I'm going to have really good angles to cover this area, this area, this area, and even see into some of these windows potentially as we get the geometry of this place right. Because the hostage is all the way in this bottom corner, I'm not going to bum rush straight to him. Instead, I think I need to set conditions, and I need to get into and clear this structure first. The danger of not clearing this structure first means that once I get to the hostage, I could still be getting engaged from behind. I don't want that to happen. So the plan here is going to be to establish a support by fire position here, use that support by fire position to engage along these long axes, simultaneously moving with at least 2 assaulters and probably a third down this long alleyway using these trucks as cover, getting some rounds through these windows, getting some rounds through the doorway here, and then ultimately moving into this structure and clearing as indicated. All right, let's get to planning. First thing we're going to do, as we always do, is just improve our geometry. We're going to start pieing off these corners, seeing if we can identify where threats are located. Let's see how it goes. Sure enough, we've already engaged one threat. We've got good cross coverage. We can already see down this entire alleyway. We can already see deep here. What we can't see is dead space on the back side of this structure. Remember, when we create this L, that's going to open up that dead space. So we're going to be able to see it even better. We're going to hold this position now that we've been compromised. Of note, I do have a line of fire that is going towards where I know this hostage is. So every one of these shots is incredibly dangerous. I need to be careful about the weapons I'm employing and the fire control measures that I'm using to control the rates of fire and the accuracy of the fire for my assaulters up top. We've already been compromised, so that dynamic rapid movement to this hostage to extract him, that clock is now ticking and we need to be moving quickly. That being said, if we die, we can't get to him. So we are going to allow this situation to develop for just a moment before we move into our next position. Okay. Next, we're going to put a smoke here, and we'll put a grenade there, and, excuse me. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to get a smoke down in this courtyard, and we're going to get a grenade down here as well, because I think we might have more enemies coming this direction. That smoke and that grenade is going to allow us to pass 2 of our assaulters across. We're going to establish that support by fire position on these Jersey barriers where they've got good cover and concealment. That'll set conditions to continue breaking down this objective.
Bravo, go. Bravo, go.
Okay, as we continue to improve this geometry, we saw one more enemy combatant deep, and we protected these guys by doing that. So now this support by fire position is starting to go to work. We've got 2 guys established here. I want to improve our position even more by trying to get someone over here behind this well so that we can really, remember, we're trying to go for this L, so I can get that L shape even better established by putting someone over here behind this piece of cover looking deep. We're going to get another smoke out here, and that will allow us to continue to improve this position. All right, that smoke is out. And moving.
Alpha, go.
There we go. That smoke covered our movement into position. We've got the top half of our L established. Now we want to establish the bottom half before ultimately moving into and clearing this structure. We're also now isolating enemy that may be located in this building from coming out the back door or windows and moving to our hostage location. Of course, there could be enemy in here, so this hostage is at risk right now. But if we go sprinting past all of these open doorways and windows, we're going to get blasted on the way to that hostage, and we can't help him at all at that point. But what we can do is isolate this hostage from anyone that's trying to get to him, and we can isolate this battle position, these guys up here who are going to be moving this way. We can isolate them from any enemy that may be in this building trying to flank. So good position. What we are going to do is we're going to supplement these 2 guys with 1 more assaulter so they end up having a 3rd. So now we have a 3-man fire team here and an overall a very good position. Okay, let's do it. Drummer's going to move down. We're going to move our stack, trying to make that L that we talked about. Okay, now look at this. Now that we're starting to make that L, all of a sudden we can see deep into this building. We can even see the open doorway right here. Situation's starting to improve. Drummer's going to maintain security here. We're going to pass Goose to continue improving that L even more. Now look at this. We've got that L really starting to take a good shape now. We can see deep into this building. We can see deep into this building. I have 1 uncleared room. I still need to go ahead and get in there and clear that space. And really the big piece of dead space left is here, and of course where the actual hostage is. So before you commit yourself to an open danger area to assault an objective, you move to what's called your last cover and concealed position. Right now my last cover and concealed position is right here behind these trucks. When you move from that last cover and conceal position through the danger area and into a breach or onto an objective, you want to set conditions before you do that by prepping that objective. In this case, we can use flashbangs, we can use hand grenades, we can use smoke, we can use suppressive fire. All of those things are going to protect our guys during this really dangerous period from there to there. So here, what do we have? We've got a smoke. We've got a 320 round. I don't want to be slinging HE in there because we could have other hostages that we don't know about. We have another smoke. We've got flashbangs here. So what we'll do is we'll put a flashbang here. And then after that flashbang goes out, we'll put a second flashbang. We'll put a second flashbang here. Those flashbangs are going to set conditions for us to move. We're also going to put a smoke deep. So we'll have a flashbang in this room, a flashbang in this room, a smoke right here. So if there is anyone in this dead space, they're not going to engage us while we move. After that goes off, we're going to flow in with these 2 assaulters. Drummer will isolate this room by pointing his gun down this long axis. He'll prevent these guys from moving against our 2 assaulters. These 2 guys are going to flow into this door and start clearing the rest of the structure. They can do that safely because there's a flashbang here, and a smoke here. There's that second flashbang. There's the smoke.
Alpha,
and we're moving.
go.
Good cross coverage into this room. We're going to flow straight across whole time. We're going to hold deep, trying to clear as much of this deep space as possible. We'll use cross coverage there. Good. That's why we were pulling all the way across. That's also why we had this line of fire peeking all the way through this room to keep him safe. All right, we've already got these guys looking a certain direction. I have a little piece of dead space here that I still need to clear, and then I also have dead space in this room that I still need to clear. I'm going to allow this assaulter to clear this dead space because he's already looking that direction. I'm going to allow Meathead here to clear this dead space because he's already looking that direction. Big threat here is, of course, this dead space here, because we may or may not have an angle to see a guy that's coming this direction and getting around that way. Or it might be so fleeting that we're not protected by Drummer in the process. But let's see how it goes. We're just continuing to improve this geometry as best we can. And that room is clear and secure. This building is now clear and secure. We are ready to move to and get this hostage. We're also clear out this direction. So the only place bad guys might still be is here or here. That L shape has served us well so far. First thing we're going to do is continue to refocus on this place and continue to improve that geometry. So if that's where the bad guys are, we want max guns on that space. Okay, so now we're continued. We have that L still. We've got that good looking L from up top, able to fire down, and here able to fire in. We're going to use a 3-man breach team to go ahead and get in here. We're going to maintain security with Drummer on this door, who has... Alright, we are going to peek this corner real quick to make sure there's no one around it. Alright, that's clear and secure. Goose, actually. He's not a good shot. Man, those guys are both shitty. Alright, these guys are going to come around this way. The reason I'm doing this is because my door charges are here with this guy, and I want to be able to use a door charge to open up this breach so we have violence of action going in. But I want a good assaulter that's an excellent marksman in this position so that he can see immediately deep into the room and take that tough shot. So now Drummer's going to come forward. First, we're going to provide security for Drummer. So now that we're going to have security on the door here, we're also going to have security on the door here. Drummer is then able to come forward and get a shot right there on the door. Alright, we're going to stack up on this breach. Now we're going to get in here and try to save the hostage. From the moment this thing opens, we got to be very careful because now we're in a gunfight potentially in the same room as our hostage. We've got a good L. Remember, everything we do is fighting from L. So we've got security on this door in the form of an L, where we can look into it this way and we can look into it this way. So we're already forming L. We're going to blow this door as soon as that thing opens up. There may be some bad guys in here. We're going to eliminate them, get inside, get the hostage out. We have 3 assaulters to do it, and then we have a couple that are also in reserve. And because we had that L, we were able to immediately engage all the way into the structure, keeping our guys safe and winning the day. Thanks for watching this episode of Door Kickers 2 Task Force North. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. There's going to be more on the way. Since I did pass 10,000 subscribers recently, I have opened up a gear shop. And my first piece of gear is a little poster that you can use to spruce up your gaming area. It comes down to the fundamentals, guys. Speed, surprise, violence of action. That's what this poster is all about. I appreciate y'all's support as I have been working through this series. I'm Controlled Pairs, and I play the most immersive PC games in the world. This is Door Kickers 2, and I will see you in the next one.